Hey, this is Selina.
And this is Taku.
And this is the best of
Love Island. Come on now. First up, our chat is with Love Island Season 1 icon Josh Moss. Let me tell you, this guy's a character, man.
Joshy is so cute.
He's cute. He's funny.
Yes.
And I remember we did like the little TikTok when he like brought in the wigs.
I know, he's such a good sport. If you haven't watched it, go on our TikTok. It's the one with the iconic sound of like, disgusting.
Disgusted.
Iconic.
Come on now. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this clip with Josh Moss.
So before we went on day one of the show, we're in the tents, as you maybe the audience don't know. They basically get you there super early. They put you in individual tents, and you still don't really know what order you're going, what time you're going in. You're really left in the dark. And I had 2 or 3 of the big producers come into my tent, and they were like, "Joshy, you're hilarious. You're the man. You've got abs. You've got you're fake tan to the gills." I'm like, all right, you're kind of losing me a bit here. Like you stop with that side of things. Like trying to build my confidence up. They're like, "We're gonna send you in first, mate. We are confident every single girl here is gonna want to step forward." And I was kind of like, all right, like these guys are professionals. Like if they're thinking that, then they must know something. And then I was like, all right, let's do it. I'll go in first. Sent me in. Saw Sophie Monk, was like shaking as I walked in because you guys, we've never done anything like that with cameras around. So walked in, saw all the girls, never seen them before, and my leg was shaking. I remember I was biting my lip, and I cut my lip because I was biting it so hard. I don't know, because I was just nervous, and I could feel the blood dripping like in my throat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then Sophie was like, "Here's Josh, he's 26, 25. You know, he's from Sydney, Australia, blah, 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 blah. Step forward if you like him." And in my head, I'm like, oh, like, you know, I think at least, you know, super like cocky or whatever. I was like, I reckon 4 are going to step forward. I'll accept, you know, maybe 3. I'll accept 2. And if 1 steps forward, like it's a disaster. But I'll cop it. You know, Sophie goes, "Step forward if you want Josh." 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then I look at Sophie and she's like, "It's so fine. Like, don't worry about it. Everyone's just getting to know each other." And I was like, giving the speech.
Man.
And then I had to pick someone when no one stepped forward. And I was going to pick Millie. I don't know if you guys remember the show.
Yeah.
I looked at Millie and she caught my eye first. And I was about to pick Millie. And Sophie goes, "Millie, why didn't you step forward for Josh?" And she was like, "Oh, I just don't really like blonde hair. It's not my thing." And I was like, well, that's just biggest like cop out. I was like, can't pick her now. I was like, I'll pick the beautiful girl in the yellow bikini, which was Taylor Demir. Cool. And that obviously ended in disaster. But that's, you know, and all my friends back home were all sitting by the couch and there was 20 of them, popcorn, pumped for Josh. And they said it was, half of them were in tears of laughter and the other half were just like, they all sent me the video, like, and I got it when I got out of the show. And it was so bad.
Boy, and I feel like that's like the most daunting thing though, because it's like you kind of put on the chopping block, you know? Like, and it's cool, but when you still, you know, are going to pick like whoever that's in the front, even though they didn't step forward for you, you're like, well, now I got to put in more work, more graft, because they're going to be more people coming in, and that wasn't your original choice. You know what I mean? So that's what hurt. But like for me, for example, I was there and then Ari stepped forward, right? I don't know if you guys remember Ari. So she stepped forward and I was like, well, I can't just leave you there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought she was dope though. So I was like, okay, fine, cool. Like, you know, like I'll just go with the girl that's, you know, standing.
Yep.
And then Ryan comes out, another dude comes in, and then she stepped forward for him. I was like, bro, was this a safety mechanism? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of thing,
and,
you know?
And for a while, like the first guy who walked in for a couple series after me wasn't getting picked. So I was like, oh, it's a first guy syndrome. Yeah. Like, you know, and then the last few 3 girls stepping forward first guy. I'm like, exactly, far out. But, you know, it's the tough thing about that is there's so many cameras on you. You know, you think your confidence is kind of high because you're like, I've been picked for the show, you know, I'm here to date. And then instantly your confidence gets rocked. Yeah. And you're just
I
like,
think we can all relate on that on such a deep level. But what was your dating life prior to going on the show?
Disaster.
Serious?
Disaster.
No.
Come on now.
Like horrible. Like,
really?
Like nothing, like I was trying to find connections and stuff like that. But I think, you know, modern day times, especially with, you know, this swiping generation, it's so hard to find genuine connections and people's attention spans are so short. So for me, like going on dates with girls or whatever, like some of them would be all right, but it would always just kind of like fizzle out after like, you know, a couple weeks or whatever. So the main reason I went on Love Island was I was just like, I'm just going to try something different. Like, you know,
definitely.
Yeah.
So absolutely, man.
But disaster.
But you know what though? The thing is, like, things didn't really get any better from there. Like, for a little while anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was watching, I was like, fuck, man, my poor boy. And stuck out to what I was so proud of though was like, you stuck out to the end, you know what I mean? And then that's when, Amelia came in, like, how did that make you feel though? Because it's like, at one point you would have felt like leaving, right?
Yeah, man. There was a lot of stuff off camera that wasn't shown, obviously. And there was a point in the show where I gave up on the whole experiment or the whole like idea of it because I was just like, we're 4 weeks in and I haven't had anything genuine at all. And I was just like, at that point, it was good and bad, because I think that on these reality TV shows, if you find your person day one and you go all the way to the end, yes, it's amazing you found love, but it's a bit boring for the audience, So like,
you're right.
You don't necessarily want to find that the love of your life day one because the journey can be, it's different for everyone. But if you find that love on day one, it can be a little bit boring, for the audience. You kind of get lost in the system. So, I do believe everything happens for a reason. But I didn't have a girl in there, so I was just doing things to entertain myself.
Right.
I was doing poems and I was playing pranks on people and telling people about like why the sun's so strong and just entertaining myself on a boredom level, dressing up in dresses and all sorts of weird stuff, which actually was great in the end.
It was entertainment.
It was entertainment. It was fun. I just tried to have fun on there.
Yeah, man was just there for the free food, bro. Don't worry. I was like that too, man. I can't lie to you. Things got sour for me as well. At one point I was really talking to my guy Chris, right? There's a guy that was there, his name is Chris Gordon. And I remember there was one point I was like, bro, I don't even know why I'm still here, bro. I know my bills is getting paid at home, but I ain't really having a good time. So, I think like it's just so crazy just think about how, you really do take a chance on going on this show. And it's kind of like a flip of a coin, like it can go really, really good or really bad. But I think the good thing was when you stuck out to the end, when your girl came, things really turned around for you, bro. And I could definitely feel a shift in energy.
Huge. Even that scene, I will never forget it when she was walking. Because you guys, they took you out for a boys' day at the beach. Do you remember? Yeah. And then they brought on the new bombshells. Yeah. And it was like this slow motion Baywatch. She was like in her bikini, strutting. The wind was blowing in her hair. She was like in a moment. And your face, you were just like,
I was like,
Homer
literally,
Simpson.
I was gobsmacked. Like straight away, she caught my eye, and I was like, wow. But it's so funny. Me and Jackson, because we didn't know what's happening. We just got taken in a van, and then in the van, the producer's like, all right, there's two girls that we're going to send you on a date with. One's blonde, one's brunette. Yeah. And me and Jackson were talking, and I was like, oh, bro, I want the blonde. But without even seeing them, like dumb chat. We're like, I want the blonde, and he's like, I want the brunette. And we're like, done, shook hands on it, like super dumb. And then as soon as we're on the beach, we whispered to each other. I was like, I've got the brunette, and he's like, I've got the blonde. So we swapped straight away.
Right.
And it was just great because instantly there was a connection there, and I hadn't had that on the show at all. So it was just really nice to actually find a connection on what is the purpose of the show, is to find someone. So you're seeing everyone falling in love around you, and that makes it exacerbates the situation, makes it 10 times worse because you're like, he's falling in love, she's falling in love, why isn't it happening to me? So finally to get it amongst that was great.
And then now fast track, like when you guys, got out, man, how did your relationship go, like, on the outside when you first got out?
Yeah, look, it was actually really, really good to have a partner leaving the show because you guys don't understand, when you leave the show, it's like a whirlwind, you walk into the show. Love Island's a little bit different to Maths because you're locked in the show. Well, ours was live, so we would film an episode, then it would go live the next day. So I was in Spain for like 8 weeks, and when I'd left, the show had already finished playing. Yeah. So we got back, and it was a whirlwind. Like, people are going crazy. People are coming up to you screaming for photos. Like, it was mental. So to have someone there that we could both lean on and support each other actually made us a lot stronger. And it was really good to just have someone there that genuinely cares for you. Because when you leave the show, a lot of people, they kind of treat you a little bit like a commodity, like an object. What can they extract from you?
Yes.
You've got this level of notoriety and fame and public profile. So people want to kind of extract a bit of that from you. So it's hard to work out who's genuine and who's not. So to have someone there that has your best interests at heart really actually helped us get stronger. But I know for other couples, it did the opposite, a lot of attention and from whatever can make them stray. And so a lot of stuff happened after the show as well.
Most definitely, man. Like that, but I think it would have definitely tested you guys, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Being in that moment, like, because a lot of people, like when they go in, everybody likes to say that we on there for love, but we're going there for a sprinkle of clout as well too. You know what I'm saying? You go out and they're like, who are you?
Clout, what are you talking about? Oh, there it is, I'll take it.
Who's there for love, baby?
But I think like it was just, I don't know, you could really tell that you were there to find a connection.
You're trying for real.
Yeah. And then I guess you, like what you were saying before, it kind of, played to your, I guess, favor? Is that the right word?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You not finding that connection straight off the bat because we got to see more of your personality. I think that's what Australia fell in love with the most. And then when you found that connection, we were like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, right.
But then that was towards more the end. So I was pleasantly surprised that you guys left together and lasted 4 years.
Wow.
The strongest couple that had left.
Yeah.
But they weren't the strongest when the show finished, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There were other couples that were like madly in love when we left, and they fell apart so
Straight
quickly.
away.
So quickly. I could have literally told you which couples are going to fall apart on the
Eden
finale
and
day, but
Aaron.
anyways, we'll leave that. There was a lot of stuff going on,
Who's there for the bag?
Yeah, like Grant Crapp had a secret girlfriend.
Yes.
That's confirmed. I know that he had that. And that was getting, because our show had obviously arrivals, they're called. I don't know what they're called in maths, intruders, whatever. But they were coming from the outside world.
Yes.
And they were telling us information. And they kept coming in the same story. Grant's got a secret girlfriend that runs his business on the side. And we were like, what the hell? But then the producers kind of caught wind that we were all talking about. So then they came in and they were throwing in other rumours to throw us off the scent. Like they were saying that Eden had a secret girlfriend and Jackson, and they were saying all these other people had secrets. So we're like, oh, it's just, mumbo jumbo. But then Taylor started to catch on, like, because she's quite a smart girl.
Yes, yeah.
And she worked it out within less than 10 hours of leaving the villa that he had a girlfriend.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I think they hadn't even got off the plane yet.
Nah, she'd already worked it out. So
yeah. Crazy.
Y'all
I
are
felt
really
for her now.
FBI's, man. Y'all find it
some
out.
of you girls are like, you should
We are
actually work for
onto
the
it.
FBI.
I'm telling you, boy.
Like, get off Instagram and use those skills to
We
get
would
paid.
dominate for sure.
Are
Nothing
you good at
goes
that,
past it,
Selina?
man. I'm telling you.
I'm all right.
You want something found out, you go to her.
Yeah.
So my man, so like, okay, so 4 years, man. Like, it was beautiful, like, seeing you. You guys were like, man, like the Love Island couple.
Couple
You know what I'm
goals.
saying? The couple goals, you know what I mean?
Literally.
And tell me about the demise of the relationship, bro. Like,
Yeah, so we were going against the percentages. Like, no one was meant to work out. So we lasted a long time. Towards the end, we were just different people than when we first entered the relationship. Like, you grow as you
Most
get older,
definitely,
obviously. And we just had different, like, I guess, morals and goals. And, she wanted to do a lot of traveling and kind of live, like, freely like that. And I'm more like, I want to try and work towards building, I don't know, a career, or I like structure and stuff. I love traveling as well. But by the end, we were just different people. And we both realized that it wasn't going to work. We both wanted different things. So it ended super amicably. Like, we were in a really good place when it ended. And then very quickly the wheels fell off. And now it's now we're not in a good place at all. So
speaking about traveling, because she went away just before you guys broke up.
yeah.
Was there any form of turbulence before she left within the relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. We weren't in a good place for like the last 6 months of the relationship. We were getting into a lot of arguments. We weren't seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. So the writing was on the wall essentially of it wasn't going to work out long term. And then she went away to America and like, everything I say now is my perspective because she's going to click it at me when I start talking about it. But whatever, like, it is what it is. There was a lot of rumors that she cheated on me in America at Coachella, which it's not true. She didn't cheat on me at Coachella. So we just got back, and there was no huge scandal. No one cheated. No one, I don't know, was abusive or whatever. So it just didn't work out in the end. But yeah, when she got back from her trip to America, like, she was back for 2 or 3 days, and then she got home from dinner and she basically said, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, I agree with you. Like, I'm not happy either. So, yeah.
but it's just like the timeline of events, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it's like you go to America for a little bit, you have a good time, you come back, and like you kind of made up your mind. So I can understand like the suspicions. How do you know that she didn't cheat on you, though?
I mean, I'm taking her word for it, and I took her word for it, and she had a lot of friends there and stuff. But I personally don't think she did.
She'll do something like that.
I don't think she did something like that. But before she went to America, she also then booked a Bali trip before she went to America for like 10 days with her friends without me. And I was like, all right, that's a little strange. Like, you booked a Bali trip, and I was like, oh, am I like, do you want me to come? And she's like, oh, it's just like me and my friends. And I was like, all right, like, I guess. And I was like, that's a little strange. So then,
Oh,
but
Joshy.
no, it's all good. Like, but because I had a conversation about this on my podcast, the handbags, and she thinks that this is disrespect, me talking about her cheating. But I'm saying I don't think she cheated. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So and when we broke up, we were amicable, super friendly, and in a good place. And now I don't hate her at all. Like I actually like her. I wish her the best. I hope she, this new guy, I hope she's like marries him and has kids. Like I got no ill will towards her. So I genuinely hope that she kills it with whatever she does. But I don't know if the same energy comes back at me.
Okay.
And yeah, kind of the wheels fell off and we're not in a good place now. So
Do you think, and this is just me because there's a lot of testosterone in the room today, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to from a woman's point of view,
yeah.
I feel like it takes a lot for us to express our wants and needs. Do you feel like within the relationship of 4 years that she tried to tell you what she needed from you and you were still loving her in the way that you knew how to at your capacity? Because there's nothing like meeting your soulmate to really see your wounds and your capacity to love.
No, definitely. No, 100%. And maybe there is too much testosterone in the room. We need to try and turn that down.
So do you think, she just kept trying? And the last thing that we want to feel as a woman is a nag. Like we want to be your happy place. You know what I mean? We want to have you on that trip with us. But then it gets to a point where we don't want to keep talking about our wants and needs and like, babe, you're still not understanding what I'm trying to say. Then you start bickering. And then she's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go on a girls trip, get away, clear my head for a little bit, come back. And you're like, damn, man, he's still not getting it.
Wow.
So like, I feel like women check out a lot sooner than when the relationship actually ends.
No, definitely. And I'm like mature enough to easily admit that I was not perfect. I definitely made a lot of mistakes. I was not the best boyfriend at times, She had to talk to me about reassuring her a lot and making sure that I prioritized her, and I definitely didn't do that enough. And I feel like every relationship you learn from the last one and you try and better yourself from the next one. So looking back on the relationship, there was definitely a lot of things that I didn't do right and didn't give her enough. And, I wasn't able to tick all those boxes for her easily. So I can definitely admit that. On the other side of the coin, like, a relationship's not a one-way street. Like, there was obviously things on the other side that I wasn't like kind of getting as well. So it's a two-way dance. We both weren't doing enough to make the relationship work. So I can definitely understand, I'm not upset that the relationship ended. That's just a natural part of life. That happens with everything. What I'm upset is what happened after the breakup is where for me, like there was a level of disrespect towards me and my family that, for me, if I broke up with someone, like, or if I ended a friendship, or I would never treat someone that I cared about kind of like the way you like that. And for me, that was the hard part. Like the breakup, no hard feelings at all. Like we end and I even said, like, I really hope we can be friends and not waste all those amazing times we had together and that sort of stuff. So it was kind of post breakup where, for me, like, I just didn't really understand like why it had to go down that path.
Reality.
Now, here's a clip of Matt Zukowski from season 1 as well too.
How crazy that when he was here, we knew about his hard launch with Tammy, Hembro, and now they're engaged.
That is absolutely
so,
bollocks.
So happy for them though.
But you know what though? We heard it here first, okay?
Yes, we did.
Check this out. So I listened to the live show, by the way. I think it was when you guys were in Sydney. And I love this one bit.
Should have come. You guys should have come.
Yeah, man,
I know,
that would have been amazing,
sorry, I had
right?
another event on.
Man, it would have been good.
I was
It was
going
good.
to
The
come
Sydney
with
show was
Stella and
fun.
Maddie.
Yeah, Sydney show was fun.
Because you guys had Ollie on, isn't it? And Tani, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Fuck,
dope.
they're funny. Ollie was funny as.
He's unreal,
hilarious.
bro. He's unreal. And listen, you said something so interesting about there was a show on Netflix, right? I think it's called Chose Love. Is it what it's called? Anyway, it's like an interactive Netflix show, I think it is. And there was something that was said about, how there are 3 types of love that you get into in your life, right? So the first one is like your first love. And we don't know how that's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like that's like the end of the world, man, when you leave him, you know what I'm saying? Butterflies and everything. And then there's
you're normally like high school, teenage years. There's not much care going on. It's just you two, and just like where are you hanging out? You know, there's not much to argue about.
100%. Nothing else matters, bro.
Yeah, just you two.
And then there's the toxic love. You know what I mean? And as you call it, learning love. And I really like that you say that. That's beautiful right there. Because I feel like you actually get to know yourself a lot more in that second love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you agree, bro? Because I feel like it's only so much work that you can do alone. But I feel like a relationship, which is what I'm actually starting to learn right now, man. Like, it is so confronting, bro, because that person dissects every aspect of you. Like, your personality is on the line, bro.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
No, I agree. And I hate the word toxic. That's why I call it a learning love. Like, nothing's toxic. 2 people aren't just compatible. Doesn't make them toxic. Doesn't make the other one toxic. You know what I mean? You're not compatible. You don't have the same, like, love language maybe, or the same views on something. And I say all the time, you know, you got 2 people, a boy and a girl, for say, or a guy and a guy, a girl and a girl, but they're just, for me, heterosexual, it's like a guy and a girl. They're 2 opposites to start off with. Men and women don't think alike. You know what I mean? Straight away. We've had 2 different upbringings. We've had 2 different lives that have happened up to that point. We're not going to see stuff the same way. You know what I mean? So you've got to be able to understand each other. And I hate the word toxic because 2 people are different. Like,
Absolutely.
you know.
You're right. And then there's the last love that you talked about, the forever love. I like that. The forever love.
The forever love, yeah. Do you think you've had yours?
You talking to Selina or me?
You've had both of you.
So, do you think you have both?
I think I'm going through all of these with one person right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hectic. That's big.
Not sure that's how it works.
Yeah, but I was like...
I mean, well, to be fair, like, I didn't grow up in the most, like, loving household. Like, my parents had an arranged marriage. They freaking, like, triggered each other, despised each other. So I never really grew up in a home where I knew what love was. So I think growing up as an adult, I didn't really quite recognize, like, healthy, you know, patterns, or like when someone was showing me love, I was like, what is going on? So now I've, you know, obviously gone through like 2 reality TV shows, tried to desperately find love. I did a lot of work with myself. And now, as I'm like literally living my best life, I quit my job back in Adelaide. I moved to Sydney. And I'm just like living my best life. I was like, maybe now is a good time to go on Hinge. Like, just for the lols, for once, because every other time I've gone on there to find love. And like the first person I bumped into, I'm like, holy shit, you're actually a really nice guy. So I think for the first time I'm discovering all these things with him. And
you reckon he's teaching you a bit about yourself as well?
I think we're both teaching each other a lot. Like, we're mirroring each other in a lot of ways. We fucking definitely trigger each other in a lot of ways, but it's our willingness to work through those differences and adversities with each other. Because I think we both know that we both want the same thing. That's what's making us strong.
Why I call it learning love is because my ex, we obviously triggered the hell out of each other, had a lot of, you know, loved each other a lot deeply, but like we didn't see stuff eye to eye. And she would be like, you know, she'd be like, you're not like anyone else I've dated, blah, blah, blah. There's something like off, you know what I mean? And then it made me go get my test and I found out I've got ADHD. So then now, like, coming into my next relationship, I know a lot more about myself. I've learned a lot more about myself. Like, I'm medicating now. I know that this will make me do this and, you know, so on and so forth. So that's why I call it learning love.
Most definitely.
Wow.
I like
Wait,
that.
so are you diagnosing that I'm in learning love right now?
I don't know. Well, do you think you've had your first love? Aaron on the
Aaron, sure. Does that count?
Aaron.
Lol.
But Maddie, the reason why I was asking all this is because of you found your forever love, my boy.
I'd like to think I have.
Oh my God.
I feel like you have. I just feel like the look in your eyes, the sparkle in his eyes, and that pink flush that's happening right now on that big screen.
There's a big
look at the smile.
Come on. There's some radiant energy going on here, man.
Yeah, he's smiling.
I'm definitely, I hope, like, you know, without going into too much details, you know, when you find someone and you click with them and it's just easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Feels like breathing.
Yeah, it's just easy. You don't have to, like, you know, obviously, like I said before, we're 2 different people, but like I just feel like it's easy and there's that different feeling inside you when you're around each other. And And I hate saying that someone completes you because I don't think anyone should complete you, but it makes you feel safe.
Peace.
And peace, yeah. And you feel just like really comfortable to be yourself. And they match like my goofy energy and they match me for who I am. So.
Absolutely, man. Sorry, and for those people that are just listening right now that don't know, Matt is dating Tammy Hembrow. Just letting everybody know. Cause
neither confirmed or not.
No. But, you know, I don't know if that's the person or not. But anyway, I heard that they came to your live show. It's just a rumor as well. And maybe they were, maybe they came to your live show or not. I'm not too sure. Is that true?
You listen to the episode. You tell me what happened. If anyone else wants to listen to that episode, I'm sure they could find it.
I'm sure they can find out
where you stream your stuff.
Well, the main thing is he looks so happy.
You look good, man. Listen, and like I think
Thanks, mate.
that's exactly like what I was going to as well. It doesn't matter, but I think it's just important to be able to say that. You know, we are proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And like, we see the journey, bro. You know what I mean? So, you know, like this podcast just wasn't, you know, just for us to be asking all these crazy ass questions. You know, it's also because like we love you, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Thanks,
and we love the journey.
Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to rate us and follow us if you haven't already.
Come on now.
And we'll be back next year.
With full blast, more tea, more everything. I don't know if you guys are ready for this heat, but yeah, we can't wait.
Woo!
Reality.